This is the web series for the love of BIM, promoting Barbados, everything Bajan Canadian and everything Canadian Bajan. Welcome to another episode in the web series for the love of BIM. I am your host, Consul General Sonia Marvel Carter, and mid-January already. Time is truly moving on, but COVID seems to be going nowhere. We have a new emergency stay-at-home order here in Ontario. In Quebec, there is a curfew, 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew. Cases are rising all around us. Meanwhile, in Barbados, there is a major backlog of test results, which means that people are spending longer in quarantine than would have previously been anticipated or even thought possible. But we're still testing and unfortunately seeing new cases daily. People are asking, when will it all end? I don't think anyone knows, but it appears to be something that we must live with or learn to live with and learn to navigate. So I therefore implore each and every one of you traveling during this time, maybe into Barbados, maybe back here to Canada or somewhere else in the world. I'm just asking you to make allowances for the changes and the possible delays that are being experienced all around the world due to the COVID pandemic, and always to remind you to follow the protocols of whichever country you find yourself in, as these protocols are designed to keep us all safe. And while we're on the topic of protocols and the fluidity of the situation and the constant changes, I'm sure you're all aware now that Canada had instituted a 72-hour negative PCR test as part of their protocol for traveling back into Canada or traveling into Canada, which meant that those in Barbados who were traveling after the 7th of January, which is when that new protocol took effect, they needed to have that test done before they were able to travel back into Canada from Barbados. Canada has now agreed that the time will be extended to 96 hours, but that will only be until January 20th. So between today, the 16th, and January 20th, persons traveling out of Barbados into Canada, they have a 96-hour PCR negative test time frame for traveling. So it is not 72 hours for that period of time, but they can have a test done within 96 hours of traveling into Canada. But that is just until January 20th. Like I said, time is moving on, and January is a special month for many people. Yes. There are birthdays in January. Of course, you know there are birthdays in January, but there are some special people that I would want to make mention of and to give a shout out for their birthday. We have two that are belated birthdays, and we have 4 persons who are celebrating today. And guess what? We have one exceptional lady who is celebrating tomorrow. So join me in saying first belated birthday greetings to Brittany, who celebrated on January 4th. I hope that you had a great 21st birthday, Brit. And now join me in wishing Pauline Williams, better known to me as Aunt Paul, a happy belated birthday. Aunt Paul was, guess how old? Guess? Can you guess? Yes. 100 years old on January 6th. Her granddaughters Lana and Leah are here in Canada, and they were celebrating with their grandmother and the rest of the family virtually on January 6th. So happy birthday, Aunt Paul. Happy birthday, Britt. I don't think many of us will reach that milestone. So we applaud you, Aunt Paul, and we celebrate with you. Now, for the 4 wonderful ladies celebrating today, January 16th, we have Hulda and Michelle. And Hulda's sister is right here in Canada. I know she's celebrating virtually with her. So happy birthday to my former colleagues and workmates, Hulda and Michelle. Also celebrating today is Marcia, and she's in St. Lucie, Barbados. So Marcia, I hope you are having a wonderful day. and our very own Margot Harris right here in Canada. Happy birthday to you, Margot. And this comes from your many friends, of course, including Marilyn in Vancouver. I know I said there were 4 persons celebrating today, but there's actually 5 persons celebrating birthdays today. And Moneta Bailey, the president of the Barbados-Calgary Association, she is also celebrating today. Unfortunately, it is not going to be the happiest birthday we know for Moneta, as she and her family are laying her father, their patriarch, to rest in Barbados in a couple days' time, very early next week. We know this is a trying time for the family, but Moneta, we still wish you a happy birthday, as happy as it possibly can be in these trying times. And we are keeping you and your family continuously in our prayers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure to be able to join Barbados and the world in wishing this wonderful and very regal lady a fantastic birthday tomorrow, January 17th. No other than our Governor General, Her Excellency Dame Sandra Mason. May your day and your life, for that matter, be filled with love, laughter, and great health. Happy birthday, Your Excellency. Now, please permit me to share with you a presentation from the Honourable Kirk Humphrey. He is Minister of Maritime Affairs and Blue Economy. This recording would have been done 2 months ago in November for our independence event, but it is still very relevant today in terms of informing you of the mandate of the ministry for which he has responsibility and the work that continues in Barbados despite the COVID-19 pandemic.
Hello to all. I am Kirk Humphrey, the Minister of Maritime Affairs and Blue Economy in Barbados. I'm a proud Barbadian like you are, and Barbados is still open for business, and of course all Barbadians and everyone is welcome here. As Minister of Maritime Affairs and Blue Economy, I had the honor of being the first Blue Economy Minister in the world, and that is a fairly big deal, and I take the opportunity to serve very seriously. But why do we have a Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Blue Economy? Barbados' ocean space is 424 times the size of our land space. 424 times. And yet we do not know enough about it. We do not do enough in it. We have not made enough use of it. And therefore we took the opportunity to make sure that in this new government, we were able to maximize the opportunities available to us through this blue economy space. But there are things that we have to do. I like to determine that Barbados must preserve the space, and we must produce from the space for people. I call it my 3 Ps. Preserve the space, produce from the space for people. And what are we preserving? Our coral reefs, as they stand now, are exposed. We do not have the same level of coral as we used to have, and Barbados needs to put in place mechanisms to protect that. So in the ministry, we are now working on 4 new areas in building coral, which is going to put Barbados right back on the map in terms of its preservation. We're also looking at new ways for fishing to ensure that we can catch more fish, or that we can catch fish and get greater value from the same volume, depending on the kind of fish that we catch. And we also must protect certain species of fish. And that is why we've taken a focus on fisheries as part of our rollout plan. In shipping, we are also looking at making sure that we use green shipping, so that we have environmentally friendly approaches to shipping, so that ships passing through Barbados waters or ships flying under the Barbados flag make sure that they are in keeping with the IMO's regulations in terms of the environment. We're making sure that we preserve it because we're only passing through for a short period of time. This world belongs to our children. It belongs to all Barbadians. And we're taking a serious, conscientious effort to make sure that we protect it. In terms of production, we have determined that we must get more from this space. And we all know that Barbados remains one of the most beautiful places in the world. Tourists come here to enjoy that space, and we have to protect it for ourselves and for the tourists who come as well. But we also determined that in that sea space, that there are things that could be used for medicine if you're able to look into the seabed. There are opportunities there that have never yet been explored, and we believe that that's an opportunity for Barbados. In tuna, for example, the tuna value chain, one of the things that I took very seriously was to make sure that fisher folk make a living from the blue economy. They are the bedrock of everything we do. And most of us grew up in Barbados knowing fishing, knowing fishermen, knowing the vendors and so on. But the truth is, these are people's real lived experiences. We have to make sure that they can continue to produce in this space. so that we are making sure that we train a number of fisher folk in the proper way to be able to do business. We want to be able to export fish to the European Union, so it means that we have to improve our phytosanitary conditions and just put focus in this area and to make sure that people live. And then lastly, all this is tied into the idea of us being able to live in this country. That is why in the Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Blue Economy, we've taken a position where we are repairing all of the markets, so that the conditions that Barbadians work under are the best conditions in the world. The markets will not only look good, they will produce more, but people will be able to say that they work in an environment that is clean and that is healthy. And because this is a COVID time, during COVID, we allowed our fisher folk to continue to fish. We deemed them as being important personnel during COVID. We allowed our markets to remain open during COVID. We determined that was important as well, because livelihood at the end of the day is important. So our Blue Economy presents in one word what I call opportunity. Opportunity for all Barbadians who reside here, opportunity for Barbadians in the wider diaspora, and opportunities for people who determine that they want to associate themselves with Barbados. Again, I wish to welcome everyone to Barbados, to come home when it's time. But I also want to say, continue to represent Barbados as well as you've done over the last many years. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Humphrey. I am pretty sure we will all now see our ocean space through new lens. We will be able to better contemplate and create innovative and new ideas and industries which can be of benefit to Barbados and Barbadians. Well, that's all the time we have today, folks. But join us next week for more information, more birthday greetings, and more interesting happenings, all for the love of BIM. Stay safe.